Hello friends, welcome back to the course of CICD for automation testers. In this video I'll be talking on how can we create automatic bug or defect in JIRA for your failed test cases. Okay, so to work on this, what we need is we need a JIRA client API. So in my pom.xml I have added one dependency for JIRA client. Okay, so let me take you to Maven repository. Okay, on Maven repository, if I search for JIRA client, okay, so the very second which I get is from net.arcas. Okay, so this is the one which I am going to pick, which is the JIRA REST client. Okay, so what it does is like by using the JIRA REST client, we can connect to the JIRA server. Okay, so the latest version which is not updated since long, but that's the good one which we can use. So the latest version 0.5 which I am going to use. Okay, so this is this Maven dependency which I have added simply over here. Okay, and to this Maven dependency, this JIRA client is very much depend on this HTTP component, HTTP client. Okay, so what we need is I need to add the dependency for HTTP client as well. Okay, so if you just search for the HTTP client over here. Okay, so the very first one which you get from HTTP client, the latest version I used this one. Okay, so I have added two dependencies. First one is for JIRA client and second one is for HTTP client. Okay, name the respective group IDs. Okay, the group ID should be net.arcas and here it is from Apache HTTP client. Okay, so I have added these two dependencies. Okay, and if I go to the Maven dependency of this JIRA client, let me find out where it is. Okay, JIRA client, here it is. Okay, so in JIRA client you can find some methods. Okay, some classes, like what and all we can do with this specific REST API. We can add attachments. Okay, so if you want to find out more about like how we can add the attachments, you can just go through this specific class and you can get to know. Okay, so it is very easy. Okay, and we can add comments, we can create issue. So the basic thing is we can create the issue, then we can play along with that specific issue. Like we can add a description, we can add attachment, we can add comments, we can assign the issue, we can change the status, we can add the watchers, we can do all the things by using this JIRA client API. Okay, now how can we use it? So my aim is to use the JIRA client API and create the bug for the test cases who has failed status. Okay, so how can I do that? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to identify what and all test cases are failed. Okay, so there are two approaches. Okay, so the very first approach is I can do it in after method itself. Okay, or I can have a listeners, I can call the listeners, like I can use itest listeners interface and I can implement it. I can add the body for uh, creating the bug in JIRA in that specific listener, and I can call it from maybe from testng.xml or from your class itself. Okay, the second approach is what I'm going to do is I'm going to create it in after method itself. Okay, so in after method what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some code. Okay, which will create the defect automatically, bug automatically. So let us see how we can do that. Okay, so what I want to do is so I want to find out the failed status. Okay, so how can I get the failed status? So I can get the failed status by using the interface itest result. Okay, so this is the testng parameter itest result, which is an interface, and I will use the variable result. So I'll be using this itest result to get my result. Okay, so how can I find out result? If my result dot what and all I have various methods like is success, get attribute, get host, get instances, get name, get method, get name. What I'll do is I'll get the status. Okay, I'll get the status. Status is equal to, sorry, equal to, okay, and what status it should be? It should be failure. Then only I want to create the bug. Okay, then I will use the interface again. Test engine interface, I test result. Okay, I test result dot failure. Okay, so now what will happen is this method will return, this specific comparison will return true if the test case is failed. That is result dot get status, result of my test case is failed. Okay, and here I need to write my code for creating my defect. Okay, so the very first thing before I create the defect is I need to set the credentials, which is basic credentials. Okay, so if you go to the Maven repository and again your where it is JIRA client, here you can find basic credentials. Okay, so you can go through this class. Okay, so here you can set your username, password and the URL. Okay, so let us create the object of that class, basic credentials. Let us say creds is equal to new basic credentials, and what and all we can give some username and we can give the password of your JIRA server. Okay, next, what by using this basic credentials, what I want to do is I want to connect to my JIRA client. Okay, which is here. Okay, and in the JIRA client we have various methods. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the object of this JIRA client class. Okay, so after creating the object, we'll get to know what and all methods constructor it has. JIRA client, JIRA is equal to new JIRA client. What and all it has? It has two constructor. The first one is string URL and second one is string URL and your credentials. Okay, so credentials I have already created by using the basic credentials class, right? So I'll be using this. So here I'll give my URL and here I can give my credentials, which is creds, which I have created here. Okay, so I'll enter username, I'll enter password and I will enter my URL. Okay, so now I have created the object for my JIRA client class. Okay, and by using this class, okay, by using this object JIRA, I can create what and all I can do. I can create a component, I can create issue. Okay, I can get custom fields, I can get issues. Like what my aim is, get project, get priority, get issue type. So we can do many things with that. Okay, so what my aim is to create issue. Okay, and where we can create issue, I want to give the project name over here and what is my issue type. Okay, so what is my issue type? Let us say my issue type is bug. Okay, and what is my project name? Let us see, we'll see that. Let me go to my JIRA server. Okay, so on my JIRA server I already logged in. Okay, so my username and password I'll just enter over here. My username is admin and password as well, it is admin. Okay, and my JIRA server URL is this one. Okay, so I'll be adding this till 8181. Okay, so I have given my JIRA server URL the login credentials. Okay, and by using this URL and credentials, I want to create the bug in bug in which project? I need to give the project name over here. Okay, so what is my project name over here? I have a project called as AUT. Okay, so I'll just give that project name. It is AUT. Fine. Now now what I can do is, to this specific issue, what I can do, I can add fields. Okay, you can see some option for fields. Okay, what is your field name and what is your field value? Okay, so what is my first field name? Let us say what I will do is I will add a summary. Okay, so uh, okay, so instead of using this, let me use in this way. Let me use this field class, field dot. Okay, so see, can you see how many fields we have? We have n number of fields, whatever fields we can see in JIRA. So what I want to do is I want to update summary and with, and what should be my summary? Let us say I want to update summary with the status. Okay, result dot get method dot get method name. Okay, so I'll add summary like my specific method name, that is my test case name is failed, due to, let us say I'll give some reason over here. Okay, and what is my reason? My reason is, let us say result dot, what can I get from here? Can I get throwable? Yes, I can get throwable. Okay, so what it will do is it will just create a summary of that particular defect as the particular test case is failed due to whatever throwable it gets. Okay, and what else I can add there? Okay, so if it gives long description, let me short it by using toString method. Okay, and what else I can do? I can add another fields like, let us say I want to add some description. Again I will add a field. Okay, and field dot description. Let us say I want to add some description and what should be the value. So you can get the value based on the result with like in this iTest result we have many number of things which we can get for respective test cases. Okay, so from there you can get the description. Okay, so I'll just write here get the description. Okay, so I'll just save this. Okay, so and what we need to do is with this we just need to execute. Okay, execute, and that's it. What is giving error? Okay, throws JIRA exception. Fine. Okay, so okay, and can you see let us say if you want to add the attachment, then what you can do is you can just use fields dot do you have something for attachment? Yes, we have something for attachment, and then you can just give the path of your images which we will be capturing by using your capture image. Okay, so you can do that, and likewise you can assign it and you can play around it. You can do many things with that. Okay, so okay, and what I'll do is I will just assign it to some variable. Issue name is equal to, so that what I'll do is I will get the issue number by using this issue name dot get key. Okay, so what I'll do is I will just print this. issue is created in JIRA with issue key this. Okay, so what it will do is it will create the defect for me. Okay, now if I run this simply, okay, and for this my test case should fail. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll fail one of the test case forcefully. Okay, so what I'll do is let me do it something, driver dot get title. I'll just check the title and let me assert this. Let me get from testng. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll expect something different, but I'm getting something different. Okay, so expected title is, okay, or I'll give expected title, and this is my, let us say, actual title. Okay, so since my actual title is something different, okay, my actual title is automation talks learn automation testing, but I'm expecting expected title. Okay, so this specific test case will fail, and once this test case fail, it should create defect in my JIRA over here. Okay, I should see some issue. Okay, so let me run this test case. Okay, it is running on my Docker. Let me see if my Docker is still up. Let me see if my hub is configured. Okay, it is there. So what I'll do is I'll simply run this test cases. The test cases will run the Docker. Just watch my previous video, like what and all I have done here to understand. So it will test cases will run, and I should see the defect will get create here. Okay, so let us wait. If you want to see the execution, you can see it in VNC viewer. You can see the execution is going on, and you can see it through VNC viewer. Is test case execution is done? Yes. Third test case is failed. Okay, let me refresh my JIRA. Okay, so here can you see a defect has been created, bug has been created. Okay, so if I just click on this, okay, so here you can see the bug has been created, and what's the title? The title is the test 3 is failed due to assertion error. Expected is this, but actual is this. Okay, so that's the description, sorry, that's the summary. Okay, and whatever description you want, you can add over here. You can see whatever description I entered over there, get the description has been there, right? So that's how you can enter the like you can create the bug. Okay, and you can assign it, you can create the, like you can attach the images and all. That's what I have shown you. We have many fields, you can use those fields and play around with the issues, right? So that's how you can create the defects by using this JIRA client. Okay, so what we are doing is we are getting the status in after method. We are getting the status. If status is failure, then it will invoke this creation of bug in JIRA. How we have achieved it? We have used JIRA client and we used classes. For the first one is basic credentials, which is used to set the credentials. I have set my credentials. Then we have Jira client class, which is used to uh, what I can say, it uses your server URL and your credentials to establish the connection. And once the connection is established, by using that particular reference of Jira client, we can create the issue by using create issue method, in which we have number of fields. We can play along with those fields. Okay. uh, okay, so that's it I have for this video. I talked about Jira client API and how we can create a bug for failed test cases whose status is failed. Okay, so this can be like, if I trigger my build from Jenkins now, so again it should work. Okay, let me trigger my build from Jenkins. So in my Jenkins it will do code scanning as well, code scanning, and then it will do the execution on Selenium grid of Docker machine. So let us wait for the execution over here. It will take a minute to do a code scanning. Let me see what is happening over here. Let me go to console. Okay, now it is starting. Okay, so my test execution is running, and once this execution is completed, my third test case will fail, and it will create the defect. Okay, so the execution is finished. Let me go to my issues and let me see how many issues I have. Let me get all issues. Let us wait, the issue is not created yet. Okay, why it is taking time? Let me find out if any issue get created with 12. Okay, sorry, because this sorry, I missed, because this code is not pushed into GitHub. I will not be able to, because on my GitHub I have my old code only. So if I push this code, and then I'll be able to create the defect. I forgot about this. Okay, fine. So that's nothing to worry. We will see that in our end-to-end pipeline. So in my next video, what I'll do is I will create another Jenkins pipeline for my API test execution, and we'll see how we can add the dependencies uh, of your one pipeline into onto another job, let us say, and later point of time we'll see how we can do all the things by using single Jenkins file. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you.